Hey guys, streams here again. It will sound like I just said gay, so I meant guys. Hey guys, streams here again. This is gonna be what if Naruto was the son of Kurama. Now, I don't know if it was like stated that it was true or something, but pretty sure Naruto was supposed to be the son of Kurama in like a original draft of the plot, but he wasn't. The plot was changed, and originally Naruto didn't have to do anything with ninjas. But I guess this time Naruto's not gonna be the son of Kurama, but there's still gonna be ninjas. Alright, so I'm gonna explain how Naruto was born. Minato and Kushina, so Minato still does the yellow flash piping, and Kushina, I guess she is the red hot habanero coochie. So with that, and Kurama's chakra. Well, Kushina can't really get pregnant from Kurama, not from Kurama, but can't really get pregnant because of Kurama. But on the day that Naruto supposedly supposed to be born in canon, well, due to Kushina's certain womanly organs and Kurama's chakra being extracted, the chakra kind of fuses with those organs, and a child is instantly being made out of chakra. Now with that, as Kushina's the knife is being extracted from her, suddenly a ball of chakra would appear, and a small fox comes out. Now Kurama couldn't instantly tell that this was his child because the child had first it had yellow hair, but then it had 9 tails. It was a fox, basically just like a fox with blonde, like his whole head being blonde instead of being orange. Now Kushina saw it as well, was actually kind of shocked when suddenly Kurama would force himself out of Kushina, and instead came out. Everyone heard it yell, "Stay away from my son!" Kurama would slash out Obito, and Obito jumped away and tried to use the Genjutsu on Kurama, but Kurama closed his eyes, and the Genjutsu did not work. But he put his claws around Naruto, and his fatherly instincts kicked in. Kushina would ask Kurama what this is about, saying, "Nine Tails, what is that thing?" Kurama had said, "I guess when I was being infected, my chakra fused with your womanly organs, and then here we are. But because of Minato and you doing that thing a few months ago, it was still kind of fresh, so his chakra, or not his chakra, but his PP fluids and your womanly organs plus my chakra made this." So Naruto was kind of the son of Kurama, Kushina, and Minato at the same time. Minato arrives in Kurama caught around something, and Kushina explained what just happened, but in very short. Minato's like, so I guess he has 2 fathers now? Kurama would just put a thumbs up saying, kill that guy. I'm gonna protect my son. Then the Hiruzen would arrive in the 9 Tails, and they get ready for a battle, and then Minato's like, no, he's on our side, trust me. And Minato gives a brief rundown what just happened, and everyone's shocked. Or at least Hiruzen is, because it was just Hiruzen who was allowed to listen. But Hiruzen said that he's actually willing to protect the son, while Kurama actually would fuse some of the chakra with Kushina so she can fight alongside Minato. Kurama agreed with this, giving at least half the chakra to Kushina so she could keep on living for a brief amount of time and fighting. And they do just that with Hiruzen watching Naruto, and suddenly Naruto is actually able to take on a human form but has 9 tails. Now eventually, Obito would still Minato sort of staying on Obito, but when Obito gets back up, suddenly he's hit in the back by a gigantic chain, and he still has to fight Minato and Kushina. They're not on par with each other, but they're still really strong and a really good duo. Eventually, Kushina's chakra ran out, and due to her already basically running on fumes, she eventually did actually die in the battle. And then this led to Minato actually dying from chakra exhaustion, because Obito was actually able to fight a lot longer. Minato did have a bit more energy, but because he thought that he could just survive a lot longer because Kushina was helping, this legit led to Minato using a lot more chakra in his Rasengan and making it bigger, and that led to Obito getting a lot more damage. But Obito was able to trick Minato and then stab him, and then that led to Minato kind of running out of chakra, but then also being pretty tired. So Minato just kind of died of exhaustion. Pause quick. Alright, so basically, I guess we'd have just Minato still dies, Obito leaves a lot more injured, Kushina still died, and now Naruto is raised by Hiruzen for around 2 years. That's just enough time for Naruto to be able to actually control his tails, be able to read, write, everything. But by the time Naruto's 4, he's put into his, own apartment. He's put in there. Well, Naruto, before Kurama, had to disappear because he couldn't stay in the village running free. Well, no one really knew what happened at first. Except for Naruto. Hiruzen didn't know what happened to the 9 Tails. Obito went back to try to seal it, but it was already gone. So, When he was regarding Naruto, and when we put Naruto down for a brief moment, Kurama had fused all the chakra inside Naruto, and since Kurama is basically made of chakra, when he fused all the chakra inside Naruto, Kurama's body went with it. So Naruto is technically the Ninetales Jinchuriki, but because Naruto's not really a living person, he's made of chakra too. Well, see, he has blood and DNA, but he already has tons of chakra because of the Namikaze clan, tons of chakra because of the Uzumaki clan, but now he's quite literally almost made of chakra, so his chakra is basically limitless, no matter what age he is. He has infinite chakra. Well, he's infinite chakra even without his, I guess, I don't know. What's this? He has infinite chakra without his father. So yeah, but with Kurama, he quite literally cannot run out of chakra. Like, if you can make Naruto run out of chakra, that's like having the 10 tails backing your power. Like, Naruto's chakra is that high with Kurama. But yeah, so we're going to go to Naruto's 5. He's 5, he goes into his mindscape, because he's just meditating. Naruto's a very peaceful person, so, yeah. He goes into his mindscape when he was meditating at one point, because he read it in a book in the academy. And when he went to his mindscape, he would be in front of the 9 tails. Naruto's not really scared of it, because he's on 9 tails, he has 9 tails, thought that Kurama was a relative. But when Kurama saw Naruto the first words that Kurama would say to him is, "Hello, my son." Naruto immediately froze, saying, I beg your pardon? Naruto stares Kurama right in the eyes, and Kurama would kind of go over the whole incident with the 9 tails, but not talk about Miyato and Kushina. So yeah. But eventually, Kurama would talk to Naruto, saying that, also, by the way, Miyato did not seal away Kurama, so this means there's no seal behind his power. But yeah, so since Kurama was kind of just roaming free, Naruto had basically just kind of fist bumped Naruto when Naruto had to leave. Like because he had run down the nine tails, Naruto and Kurama fist bump, and yeah, with that Kurama kind of fuses with Naruto, or like at least some of his memory, like his mind, it technically does. That's really it. So since Kurama basically he kind of transferred what he knew about everything to Naruto, because he thought it'd be a lot more helpful for him. So Naruto basically got the information of the sage, because Kurama spent his whole life inside the sage, or most of his life. But yeah, so that he's inside the sage for a long time, and Naruto was able to spectate Indra and Ashura's training, the reincarnation cycle, and Naruto was able to tell he uses the reincarnation of Ashura. So yeah, now with that, Naruto would kind of copy the training techniques that he saw from Indra and Ashura and everything. So with that, he begins kind of copying how they trained. So when he copies how they trained, he's doing decently well, but now he has to actually do how Shinobi trains, mixing with that training. But due to Indra and Ashura being the root of all chakra, it was a lot easier for him to do the way they use chakra. So he's doing the way they learn to use chakra. By the time he's 7, he can already use ninjutsu. Let me pause real quick. So, yeah. So by the time Naruto's around 6 or 7, he's already able to use ninjutsu, and he can use all 5 natures and combine them. But his taijutsu is what he's working on right now, because everyone kind of sees that Naruto. Well, that's all he really focuses on. So yeah, Naruto kind of wears what you see here, just the 9 tails are not there alongside the ears. But if Naruto were to use his hybrid form, this is what he'd look like. I say hybrid form like he's a zone user. Yeah, if Naruto were to use his partial 9 tails, that's what he'd look like. So yeah. Now eventually we're going to go to when Naruto is 10 years old. He's 10, he's basically not a master, but he's able to come up with his own style of taijutsu, being, renewable taekwondo. I got that from God of High School. So yeah, but now, we're going to go to when Naruto, I don't know, so he's already 10. So when Naruto's 10, he's already able to become a Genin, and he does. He's master of the Clone Jutsu and Shadow Clone Jutsu, because Kurama was able to tell Naruto about it, and he already copied it from Indra and Ashura. So yeah. Now, Naruto, through the course of 2 years, has already done around, let's say, Rock Lee was already able to do a few hundred missions in 1 year, so Naruto's able to do, let's say 200 D ranks and 14 C ranks. 14 C ranks just legit come from Naruto. Like, he's a mission to take out a bandit camp or something, or spy on one. Naruto quite literally just turns into his Nine Tails form. Like, he's not a full grown Nine Tails Fox, of course, but so to at least turn into like the size of, like, you know how Naruto can do is like Six Tail State versus Pain. Naruto's able to somewhat do that by will, because he will not lose control. That is his natural being. Like, that is his normal form. Like, only difference is his chakra is the form, not his physical body. Somewhat physical body. Well, actually, no, that's not the best way to explain it. Like, it's just his chakra coating his body instead of just his actual being. Like, his chakra armor is what that is, instead of his physical body. Like, that's not what it is in canon. It's just Naruto's full control over every single form of the Nine Tails that he has. There's no point in him not having no control over it. Yeah. So, yeah. But now with that, Naruto will go into like six Tails forms and take down like bandit camps and anything that he was tasked with on secret missions. But when Hiroshima would investigate what Naruto had done, he just sees the camp in shambles. The guys are alive, of course, but they're pretty badly burnt and everything. Naruto has a strict no killing rule no matter what Kurama says. And she does address Kurama as father. But I'm going to say Kurama for the sake of it, because I'm afraid to say father. But yeah, so when he gets to Naruto's 12. He's 12, he's plotting on getting a team with Kakashi, but it's just him and Kakashi. Up until Sakura and Sasuke would have to become Genin. And now it's Naruto who watches them take the bell test. Kakashi would have already had Naruto do it, and when Naruto has to do it, he's simply too fast for Kakashi to keep up with unless he uses Sharingan. But then again, Naruto's already insanely fast. Kakashi can barely even keep up. Sharingan can keep up normally, but his body is not able to. So Naruto quickly got the bells. So yeah, then Sasuke and Sakura did the bell test. They fail. Naruto's able to like somewhat say Sasuke was focused on other things besides the training Kakashi would want them to do. So next while, how about that Naruto will do certain missions with them, but he'll mainly he'll make clones of them, but all they have to do is train. But yeah. But back to Naruto and yeah. So in 2 months, Naruto basically made clones of Sasuke and Sakura and Kakashi. Well, then the real Sasuke, Sakura, and Kakashi would proceed to train. Kakashi would train Sasuke's Sharingan, like basically putting him in strong Genjutsu that would be traumatizing to evolve his Sharingan farther to at least a Tsuchimoy. It did take like a month for that to do for a month. Like took a month for that to happen. But because my guy doesn't really do much missions on like certain days, he had my guy train Sasuke with Taijutsu as well. Oh yeah, so then with I guess Sakura, Kakashi gonna train her with Taijutsu and Genjutsu. So yeah, now Genjutsu was like opponent enough to trick at least at least a B rank shinobi. So it was decently cool. Well, Naruto, when he came back, he kind of just focused on doing ninjutsu. One where Kurama taught him how to do one-handed hand signs. Like Kurama would train Naruto in his mind, like this mental training. Pause real quick. Okay, so Naruto would kind of just be, I guess, it was just when he goes to just the Land of Waves mission. So with how much Naruto's able to track animals down, he has a natural affinity to animals since he's basically an animal or hybrid animal or half animal. So it works out a lot easier. But then when we had mission, Tazuna would look at the team. And Naruto, well, he's the one that seems the most impressive because he looks like he's a teenager. He's not a teenager, but Naruto's the tallest one on the team, but Kakashi's pretty tall. He's the tallest one on the team because he's an adult. But Naruto, he's taller than Sasuke by 3 inches. But then the mission starts, and now we have Naruto, who would basically just, so Demon Brothers. Sakura is able to tell that's a Genjutsu. When Demon Brothers came out, what Sakura did is basically just use a strong Genjutsu, and it traps them both. So while they're both trapped, well, is it enough for Sakura to extract their knowledge of whatever they needed for the mission? Well, not just their information, just the the information. Well, the memories. Fuck, I'm dumb. The Genjutsu strong enough to extract their memories, and able to get everything they needed. But then the Genjutsu is broken, and quickly, Naruto delivers 2 swift chops to both their necks, and they're knocked out. And then, when we go to, I guess just Zabuza, the mist does roll in, but Naruto's basically immune to Genjutsu. There's no point in him. He's basically a perfect Jinchuriki without being a Jinchuriki. So, he is a complete immunity to Genjutsu, and with that, Naruto's actually able to just weave one single hand seal, and breaks everyone else out of it, because they were caught in a brief amount of time. It breaks them out, and time for Kakashi, actually, who got stronger, by the way, to dash and grab Zabuza's execution blade with one hand, and spin around and slash to the air using wind style, and slash with Zabuza. Zabuza was able to avoid the slash, but Haku had thrown Senbon at Kakashi. Sasuke is able to catch them, and then he dashes towards Haku, and Sakura follows him. Sakura is able to use like small genjutsu that aren't like her strong genjutsu. They do take up a lot of chakra, but there's genjutsu nonetheless. So yeah, pause real quick. So Sasuke and Sakura went to attack Haku. Sakura using just various small genjutsu, or not small but strong genjutsu. That take a lot of her chakra though. When Sakura is able to somewhat like trap Haku in genjutsu for at least 10 seconds. With that, it was enough for Sasuke to take every single bit of like weapons Haku had on him. But last second, Haku broke out, and Haku realized he didn't have any weapons. But Sasuke had all of his. He was able to take his ninja pouches back, or his chakra, not chakra, but his like kunai and everything pouches back. When suddenly he tries to go pull Senbon out, but they're gone. But then swiftly, Sasuke will cut open Haku's chest using a Senbon. Not cut it open, but like give it a very big slash. And then with that, Naruto would actually dash towards Haku because Kakashi's able to pretty easily handle Zabuza at this point. He trained a lot, so it will handle Haku to some degree. And Naruto would dash right at Haku. Naruto does at least. And Haku means using one-handed hand seals when Naruto does the same thing. Haku would realize he meets a shinobi of his caliber, probably even greater. That's when Naruto would yell, wind style, wind bullet. You saw a giant bullet of wind as Haku would try to use a not gale palm, but use an ice mirror to block it, reflect it at least. But no, the wind bullet goes straight through it and hits Haku right in the arm. But then Naruto taking advantage of Haku would punch the mirror into pieces and uppercut Haku right into a tree, knocking him out. When Zabuza's kind of struggling with Kakashi, though Zabuza would use a water dragon jutsu. Kakashi tries to copy it, but he'd already used a Sharingan a little too much. But with that, Naruto would dash right at Zabuza and use water style. Water style, syrup trap jutsu. And basically what that does is kind of spit out sticky water, really. It keeps it out all over Zabuza. And Zabuza it's hard for him to move. Then Kakashi would not use Chidori on him, but just hit him right in the throat, like very swiftly, and kind of makes Zabuza pass out from lack of air. Yeah. So now they turn ways with Zabuza and Haku as captives, and they interrogate them. Zabuza and Haku are not easily easily put under Genjutsu. So Kakashi will do it himself, and Naruto will actually kind of like begin using a seal that Kurama caught him to drain their chakra. So with that, they're not able to break out the Genjutsu as easily. So with that, basically Haku and Zabuza, they get their memories viewed, and Kakashi able to get their memories and talk about Gato and everything. What Kakashi would say, he's able to tell that Gato is not going to pay them, but it can really just go raid Gato's hideout and do it themselves. They can take all the money and everything. Pause real quick. Zabuza and Haku agreed to letting Naruto or one of them raid the base of Gato, and Naruto sent a clone to do it. Zabuza isn't going to hold up until an hour later the clone comes back with a little bit of blood on him, and he throws up giant bags of money on the ground. The clone of Naruto explains that basically, the clone basically just explains that Gato wasn't there, some of his men were, and the clone slaughtered them, and took the money. So since the clone slaughtered some guys, Naruto was able to have the clone disappear, and he got all the memories, saying that was kind of weird. So, I guess we're gonna go when Gato and men arrive. At that time, Naruto's actually able to build the bridge using Earth Jutsu, and did it pretty easily. Did it within an hour of his clone coming back. Then Sakura and Sasuke are able to learn chakra control. I know I said saying chakra, but they're able to learn chakra control. I was stuttering. They're able to learn chakra control, and Naruto already knew it because, well, basically, Kuno teaches him everything. So he's able to do water walking, tree walking. Sakura and Sasuke pick it up pretty fast. Naruto actually give Sasuke some tips, so Sasuke is able to pick it up within 3 hours. Then Naruto will teach Sakura water walking during the 3 hours. Then teach Sasuke the water walking. But yeah. So I guess what we do next would just be the Gato's men. When Gato's men arrive, Naruto's actually able to teach Inari some basic taijutsu to protect his mom because Inari wanted to be strong. And Naruto kind of tells Inari that basically, Naruto's able to tell Inari that, Naruto himself has that backstory. And Naruto was actually kind of called the demon, the demon Nine Tails, because people kind of thought that Naruto was the kid of the Nine Tails because it disappeared randomly. And then we have Naruto, with has insane levels of chakra, so they kind of think like, oh, he's the Nine Tails reincarnate, or he's the Nine Tails son, so they call him the demon of the Nine Tails, or the son of the Nine Tails, the demon son of the demon. They kind of call him anything related to the Nine Tails, and as an insult. When they're not wrong, it's evil. But with that, we have Naruto who would just accept it, but tell Inari about it, and Inari's pretty like, oh, so you went through a little bit worse than me mentally. Well, Inari kind of went through worse, but Naruto explains that he's never really felt any kind of love from anyone except for his teammates. So he told Inari that he kind of suffered a little bit worse because Inari actually had the experience of feeling love, while Naruto never got it until recently. So Inari finds himself lucky on that one, and then we go to just what was it? I guess we go to Naruto when he's kind of just training and then falls asleep, and then we have Gato's men attacking. Now with that, when Gato's men attack, when they attack, just Sasuke and Sakura can handle it so easily, but then Zabuza and Haku don't need to do anything. So nothing really important had happened. Pause real quick. This was Zabuza and Haku, plus Sasuke and Sakura are able to beat all of Gato's men. Gato surrenders, but Zabuza kills him. Plus Haku kills the rest of Gato's men. Sakura and Sasuke were able to knock them out, but Haku kills them. The ones that they didn't kill, at least. And then with that, well, the bodies are cleared out. Then the Team 7 is going to head back to Hidden Leaf. But Naruto's able to get Zabuza and Haku to come with them. Zabuza abandons his Hidden Mist headband, and Naruto actually keeps hold of the blade. When Haku is able to get rid of his shinobi gear, like his kunai, shuriken, senbon, anything. Same with Zabuza. So when they both come back to the Hidden Leaf, well, Hyusen's like, alright, then we have them interrogated by Ibiki, and then we go from there. And Naruto still meets Konohamaru. Him and Konohamaru get along pretty well now. Well, they already got along pretty well. Because when I first met him, he was very nice to Konohamaru. Because, well, the Nine Tails basically has Naruto, like, the Nine Tails is Naruto's father. The Nine Tails will discipline Naruto. He can pull Naruto into my state whenever he wants, but is also able to communicate with Naruto whenever he wants, so it works out both ways. But, now we transfer these suits training Konohamaru, because he has nothing else to do. He's up there for the tuning exams, so he has nothing else to do. And then when we go to Konohamaru, we'll bump into Kankuro. Konohamaru bumps into Kankuro. Kankuro tries to pick him up by his collar. Basically, Konohamaru would push Kankuro off. Kankuro would try to rush at Konohamaru. Konohamaru just jumps into the flying armbar to Kankuro. And Kankuro realizes that Konohamaru is really good at taijutsu. Suddenly, Naruto will walk in front of Kankuro, asking Konohamaru what he's doing, and snatches Konohamaru right off Kankuro's arm. And Kankuro would explain that Konohamaru is just kind of being an asshole. And Naruto's like, Konohamaru's a good kid, he wouldn't do that. But kind of just like, he believes it, just wants to piss off Kankuro. Eventually, Kankuro will go for a punch to Naruto's face, but like he's like Naruto's successfully pissed off Kankuro, so Kankuro will go for a punch to the face. But Naruto delivers a very fast punch to Kankuro's face first and breaks his nose. Kankuro would hit like fall into his knees holding his nose. He's like, "Ow, the fuck, that hurt." And means like, Naruto saying, "I'm Kasakage's kid. I'll kill you, or we'll start a war." And Naruto told Konohamaru saying he's the Kage's grandson. He would start a war regardless. So with that, Kankuro has nothing else to do but, well, leave. But Gaara would try to show his killing intent towards Naruto. When Kurama would say, "Oh, it's my idiot brother's host, Shukaku, the One Tails." Not Shukaku, but yes, Shukaku. Now Naruto immediately shoots out killing intent back, but Gaara's only one able to see the Nine Tails, I guess the killing intent forming around, and then chakra forming like the Nine Tails head. He's the only one able to see that. Shukaku immediately backed down, realizing that Naruto, well, something felt weird about Naruto. When Kurama would suddenly use somewhat telepathy with with Shukaku, it didn't last very long. Well, it lasted very long, and like just for Naruto's mind and Gaara's mind, but it actually lasted like 1 minute in real time. It felt like an hour, but felt like an hour, but felt like an hour, lasted 1 minute. But immediately, Gaara was able to be told by Shukaku that Naruto is actually the kid of a tailed beast. Now, Gaara, even if he were to fight Naruto, he would stand no chance. Naruto cannot be killed. Even if he is somewhat killed, he'll come back probably like a year or two. That's like just probably just come back a year or two later stronger. Because, well, he's a human. He's different. He's like a hybrid Saiyan. He can't really he has more potential and ability than a regular Saiyan. He'd have more potential and power than a regular Saiyan. Like Gohan has. Like Gohan's able to catch up with Super Saiyan God really fast. But doesn't have it, but has Ultimate and Super Saiyan 2. And Super Saiyan 1, I guess. But Naruto, here's to get my Super Saiyan reference, you can get what other power form he has. But yeah. Now, basically Gaara's able to understand, like, he's told by a tailed beast, he does not stand a chance against this kid. But Naruto will walk off as Sasuke jumps up from the tree, leans next to Naruto, Sakura will follow suit. And as they walk away, they go to the Chunin exam hall. And suddenly, someone would go for a punch to Naruto's face, but by the time the punch was supposed to land, Naruto's gone. Now Rock Lee would be looking around, wondering where Naruto went, but instead he looks towards his team, seeing them both with swords to their throat. And Rock Lee was amazed. Naruto cleared the distance a lot faster than he did. So he was just pretty impressed. Naruto had enough time to run right by him. Pause real quick. So yeah, now immediately Rock Lee would realize that Naruto is a lot faster, probably stronger, and well, his teammates' lives are, well, in his hands. So Rock Lee submits, saying, "Alright, I'm sorry, just take the sword away from their neck." Only the swords poof, revealing that they were just not pieces of, but like Naruto from ramen. So with that, Rock Lee's like, they weren't real swords, they weren't going to kill them. But Naruto throws both the Naruto in his mouth and eats them. But Naruto would just look at Rock Lee, saying he doesn't kill people. It's not his thing. He doesn't like it. So Rock Lee's just like, oh, so they weren't ever gonna die in reality either way. So he's gonna just like feels embarrassed. But now with that, Naruto's able to break through the Genjutsu, just not break through it, but it didn't even affect him whatsoever. So he's able to go to the exam hall, and Konohamaru's actually able to tell Naruto all the answers. So I assume Kushina would have been a really smart person, regardless. So I assume that Kurama was able to know some of the answers, or remember some of it from what Kurama had told him. Not Kurama, I mean Kushina. Not told him, but from what Kushina had experienced. He was not able to get half the answers right. So not getting half them right, it was a little bit easier. So now, Naruto would just, I guess, I don't know. I guess just when Anko bursts in, then they go to like the Forest of Death entrance area. Naruto still isn't paying attention, kind of just admiring. It's almost admiring. He's admiring the forest area. When Anko throw kunai at him, but Naruto still admiring the area, kind of tilts his head to the right a bit, and kunai would go past him, not even grazing him, but still admiring the forest view. But Anko, the closer, seeing that Naruto, just put his hand behind his back, lifted up a bit, and caught the kunai, at least by the ring of it, by the ring at the end of it, which impressed her a lot. And then with that, Naruto proceeded to just like throw kunai back at her. I'm not even paying attention to her, but keeps reminding the forest. When she goes over everything, Naruto's team gets a heaven scroll, then they have to go through the forest looking for a earth scroll. They do encounter the same hidden, which they were hidden range shinobi. They encounter the same team, and the jutsu they use, well, it's pretty impressive. And they still can't compete with Naruto. Well, they couldn't originally, but this time they can't compete with Naruto, even in taijutsu, speed, genjutsu, ninjutsu. No matter what you use, you cannot compete with him. Eventually, when one of the shinobi is kind of stabbed right in the stomach with kunai, but not like too deep inside, so it's not going to kill them. But it's a pretty just a stab wound, regardless. So Naruto thinks they kind of cut them like a fish unless they throw Naruto their scroll. So they hit Naruto their scroll. It's a heaven scroll, so it's basically useless. And Naruto just kind of throws it into the woods and pulls the kunai out of their like this ally. And Naruto would just walk away with Team 7, of course. But then they fight Team Dosu, which is Zaku, Dosu, and Kine. Now, Naruto... first Orochimaru, we forgot about that. And they have to fight Orochimaru. While fighting Orochimaru, well, Orochimaru does try to use the Reaper Death Seal. Not Reaper Death Seal, try to use the 8-prong seal, whatever that was. Try to use it on Naruto, but it doesn't work. All he does is just waste Orochimaru's chakra. Sakura and Sasuke were not intimidated by the scary presence of Orochimaru, because Naruto pulls that on them, so they won't be intimidated by it from other shinobi. So yeah. So because of just them, because there's not training them for people like Orochimaru, like the killer intent, they weren't affected by it whatsoever, and well, kind of made Orochimaru's technique useless because Naruto's. I guess his death stare is a lot more intimidating. So with that, I guess that kind of renders Team Orochimaru useless. But Naruto kind of just slowly ups his power as he fights Orochimaru. And with that, Orochimaru can't really keep up with Naruto whatsoever because if Orochimaru's like, oh, I can handle one tail, Naruto will go to 2 tails. I can handle 2 tails, 3 tails, 4 tails. Looking at Naruto at all at 5 tails, not all 5 tails, but he's at 5 tails, and he's attacking Orochimaru using full power. So suddenly, as Orochimaru's kind of pushing Naruto kind of to his limit, Naruto actually tells Sasuke and Sakura to run as fast as they can and as far as they can. You see him would nod, and Naruto would end up roaring out in rage, and he goes up to 8 tails. With that, his body isn't like the size of the 9 tails or anything, but it's like decently big. Not big enough to just poke out of the forest though. But he's fighting Orochimaru like that, and he's just simply too fast for Orochimaru to evade. With that, Orochimaru is eventually knocked out, and Naruto ends up winning that fight, but his chakra armor of the 9 tails goes away, and he's not tired whatsoever, but his body is pretty badly burned. Losing factor kicks in, but it's just decently, it's decent, so yeah, it works a bit. But now, with that, Naruto would go to, he goes to his team as, well, they were pretty badly injured by Orochimaru because the killer intent didn't work, so he kind of resorted to injuring them. So Sasuke has a pretty bad kunai stab in his side, but Naruto's able to treat that somewhat. Sakura will just put in a really harsh genjutsu, so she's mentally fatigued. Sakura and Sasuke lay down. Sasuke is healing. Sakura is just kind of recovering mentally. So with that, Team Dosu does attack, and old Dosu can't really get a one-up on Naruto. He attacked Naruto's eardrums using his gauntlet, but the moment the attack is finished, then it heals up immediately, so Naruto's not affected. So what Naruto does is actually run at Dosu and go for a kick. Dosu will block it using both of his arms, and the gauntlet is shattered. Only the gauntlet. But as Dosu starts flying back, suddenly a tail would smack him right in the face, burning his face pretty badly. Naruto ended up releasing his transformation jutsu, revealing his 9 tails and his ears. Now, the tails began going wild as they were coated in the chakra cloak of the 9 tails and began smacking around smacking around Zaku and Kine. Zaku tried to use his gigantic sound wave thing, but Naruto was able to smack it away easily using his tails. And eventually his tail is pierces straight through Zaku's chest, killing him. And then his tail would smack Kine in the face, knocking her out and pretty badly burning her face. And finds out they have an Earth Scroll, so they're done. So what Naruto does is pick up Sasuke and Sakura and walk over to the tower. Now they got there within 13 hours. Sakura and Sasuke wake up, they're in their rooms, and Naruto was sitting there's a clone of Naruto sitting at the edge of Sakura's bed, and Naruto sitting at the edge of Sasuke's bed. Well, clone of Naruto at least. So with this clone sitting at the end of each bed, the road Naruto was actually just training in his room as much as possible. Within 5 days pass, Sasuke's wound actually was able to be healed because of Naruto using the Nine-Tails chakra. Then Nine-Tails taught Naruto how to do that, so it healed. And yeah, pause one more time. I guess all this stuff is the preliminaries. Now I guess the fights will go the same because I don't know if like changing them up. So Zaku did die, so Shino doesn't really get a fight. Not everyone will get a fight. Hyojin says this. It's just there's a little bit of an odd number, so he's going to weed out some of them. If there's no reason for some people to fight, they will not fight. So yeah, Sasuke versus the same guy. That fight ends in a wash. Even though Sasuke got the curse mark, it would not be any different whatsoever. Sasuke was at full power. Well, at full power if he had a curse mark. He was so strong by now, it wouldn't matter. But yeah, so Sasuke uses power and is able to pretty easily beat the guy who was fighting. And then we'd have Sakura versus Ino. That fight's pretty notable. But that fight ends with just a very swift palm strike to Ino's gut, sending Ino in the air, and it knocks her out. So yeah, Ino just hits the ground unconscious. Like so before, Kakashi got Sakura's taijutsu and genjutsu, and this was some of the examples of taijutsu. He was so fast that Ino could not catch up with her, or keep up with her, even with her eyes. But then a very swift palm strike would suffice, no matter where you hit. Well, then Naruto versus Kiba. Now, Kiba already knew that he probably could not keep up with Naruto. Because, Naruto was the first academy graduate of their class. He graduated when he was 10. They already put Naruto leagues above them. They thought he'd put up a good fight, but not win. So that's what he tried to do, put up a decent fight. And he did not. Well, if Naruto was an ordinary shinobi, he would have. But Naruto's evading, blocking, everything. And Kiba can't land a single hit on Naruto. Even if Naruto blocks an attack, Kiba cannot scratch him. Eventually, Naruto actually grabbed Orochimaru and uses Nine-Tails aura to scare Orochimaru. Orochimaru beats himself and doesn't want to fight anymore. Then with Kiba, kick Kiba right in the face, knocking him out, and he wins. But now, I'm in this part here. Another fight's going to happen. The one the training will commence here. Not here, but next part, once Naruto meets Jiraiya. So if this part being a little sloppy, it was just something random I wanted to do, and then I kind of forgot a lot of it off my head. Plus, I was stuttering, so it kind of ruined my thought process. I'll focus on that. But yeah, sorry about that. If you guys enjoyed, like, subscribe, comment for the part. Like goal for this one, let's say it's going to be 15 likes by, what time is it for me? Let's say 15 likes by 3 a.m. Yeah, if you guys are still up by that time, Google 3 a.m. in Pacific Standard Time. There. Yeah, if it's by 3 a.m. for me, then have at least 15 likes, you guys can get a part 2. If there's not 15 likes by 3 a.m., then I'll find a new like goal for a different date. Bye.